Live streaming is on.
Sorry.
And then
sorry.
finances and bills should be separate.
All right, can we go quickly then back to the topic 2, trajectories? So the full trajectory, we would add a full trajectory, which is sponsorship, correct?
Yeah, so the idea is to add a full trajectory that is sponsorship,
Okay.
and then under that full trajectory, you'd have the sponsorship admin fees and the sponsorship program.
coordination.
Time to pause.
5-second pause. And so that would allow a much more functional model, right? So because then we're much more flexible. So then the whole sponsorship trajectory is fully organized with all the sub trajectories with all the clients, and then we just have admin fees and the program coordination. And in this case, we also have, and I already updated it here on the trajectory spreadsheet.
Okay.
But basically, you have admin fees, coordination, budgeting, staffing, and documentations. So all of these could be individual separate budgets, but it all starts with the coordination. First, we have to get the coordination set up. Then we can go into the admin fees and other, not admin fees. Admin fees can already happen. Then we can get into the documentations and the budgeting and all the other stuff. So actually, let's say program coordination and budgeting, because those are kind of the same thing.
All right, and this would happen, sponsorship would happen today, right? And under coordination and planning Friday, and then the sponsorship admin would be on Wednesday, Thursday, Hydra.
I don't know when it would be. I'm not sure exactly how we would organize it all, but right now we have, I mean, we could add it to today.
Yeah, for today, the coordination and on Wednesday, Hydra, the admin fees. And the reporting and all the other things that we just said. Friday, Saturday, Andromeda, H2. Cool, Jay. Okay.
So I just add sponsorship as a sub trajectory. Oh no, it's a full trajectory.
It's a full trajectory, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. So I think this looks good. I think we're getting more organized here. You know, I do want to continue to work on the UMCUS potential income budget, because I feel like that still needs a lot of work to get clarity and agreement, understanding on our potential income, so that it's clear. But I think this is a good starting point in terms of like
Time for breath.
Ooh, breath. You want to do it?
Yeah. So inhaling, exhaling, relaxing, and now inhaling all together. And exhaling.
Exhale.
So I don't know what you want to do, Jay, but I mean, we have nothing scheduled for call, but so we either can keep going or we can try to schedule something.
Well, I mean, as far as the UMCUS potential budget, it's not super duper like important, because
Time to transition and to wrap up.
Okay, we're transitioning. So the potential income's not super important because we don't really do much with it. I mean, basically, like, it's like a line item on our budget that says we're in the red a certain amount, and no one ever really pays attention to it. So, you know, I think we want to keep following up with the potential income and make sure that it's correct and that we're getting a good number, that it all makes sense based on the hours, the commitment, expectations, and what's actually getting done. You know, so for example, the sponsorship program, if work actually happens on it, the more work's getting done, then we can add more money to that budget and expand it, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that's a good way to move forward. Yeah. Cool. So I think we are good with this topic. I think we're ready to go into wrap up.
I mean, yeah, I wanted to quickly, Jay, just the criteria for the management spreadsheet, right? The management spreadsheet should have the info tab, obviously, with that's okay. Then the priorities, right? Priorities tab.
Yeah, you're going to go through priorities, and then you're going to be organizing responsibilities and actual work, right? So, I feel like there's still a lot of confusion in relationship to like the vocabulary, you know. So I do want to prioritize addressing the vocabulary soon. But there's the manager. Every client should have a manager, and there should be a manager doc that oversees the management of the client, which relates to the client relations. Then you have the actual management link in relationship to the management of the actual work, which is not the manager, right? So maybe we need better vocabulary so we're not using manager and management. But I just want to make sure that we're organizing everything properly.
Time for pause.
5-second pause. Yeah. So I feel like that's a bigger question. So what I'm trying to say is that the management criteria is exactly the same for everything across the entire network. It doesn't matter if it's client work, if it's internal ops, if it's communications, whatever it is, it's managed exactly the same way. You have a manager and a manager position. The manager position is coordinating the information about their position and their role in overseeing that particular work, right? Then you have the management spreadsheet, which is where the team coordinates all the work. So all the work with the team is coordinated, right? So the only difference in relationship to the client is the client would also get a client relations spreadsheet, but the client relations spreadsheet, I think, is more of the trajectories as opposed to each individual work outcome, right? And the deliverables. So I don't know if that makes sense, but if we can just get the whole overall organization of all of the management, I think we'd be good. But for now, what I want to make sure that this spreadsheet, the client coordination spreadsheet, is organized. So for example, I don't know why it's called a sheet versus being a spreadsheet, but either way, it should just be the client coordination sheet, right? So the client
I also think
all of the client management. And it says right here, it says line 2, links to client manager sheets. So then boom, I'm thinking, okay, these are links to the manager positions, but then it's not. It's all the management spreadsheets, which is the team management. So it's just the team organization of the actual work. So that's where everything gets confusing for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's confusing for me too. I would like to work on that too, because I mean, I think that we also should make a proposal for a new policy that whenever you're working, you need to have the responsibility organizing and the management spreadsheet open. Because today, for example, I don't know how this happened, but I mean, the team worked on a bonus upfront payroll when we're in accounting for base token payroll. So I think it's very important we get that organized, and maybe we have also a policy that
you need. What happened? I don't understand. Again?
That the management is a problem for the team to be
wrap up,
to be on the same board, on the same same
but
page.
What did you say was the problem? I didn't understand the problem.
The problem is that we worked on the 26 bonus up from pay instead of
to stretch.
We do the stretch real quick?
Let's do this.
All right. So what were you saying? The team what?
And the team skipped to the bonus up from pay, 26E bonus up from pay, instead of focusing on where we are, which was the accounting. for base token.
Okay, so that would be policy tracking, right? Everyone do
I mean,
policy tracking? Or?
yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I checked in very late, so haven't communicated about that yet. But I mean, since we're talking about management, I think first of all, yeah, there's a bit of confusion overall, and I think that it would be also very beneficial that or include in the responsibility organizing or something that, I mean, the management spreadsheet should always be open in front of you while you're working on anything, because anything that you at the end of your work, you should update the management spreadsheet so that any team member can go into the management spreadsheet and see what's the situation, because sometimes the place where we get updated is Discord, but you know, sometimes there's so many messages and stuff that you just miss them or get confused, or it's not really working right. While I think they could be, first of all, I mean, to make clarity on what you just said about the client coordination and the management spreadsheet, that there should be the same for anything, regardless of its client work or anything. But I think we could also think about a policy that you need to have the responsibility organizing and the management spreadsheet for the work that you're doing.
Yeah, so I think I mean, the easy answer is that yes, I agree with you in general in the context of like, but the general context is not necessarily the management spreadsheet, because I don't even know what the management spreadsheet means, right?
Yes.
So
So I'm saying first we need to clarify that.
For me, the what needs to be available is the basically the planning, prioritizing, and clear next part of the process, right? So whether it's a process organizing, or whether it's the management organizing, or whether it's a coordination, or
Time to pause.
5-second pause.
Seconds.
So whether it's coordination, or maybe it's just even a trajectory, on our trajectories list, everyone needs to know where the responsibility, right? The question that needs to be answered is, where is the responsibility that you are working on fit into our priorities? Where does the responsibility that you are working on fit into the priorities of the team, right? So for me, that's the question that needs to be answered. And that question may be answered on the management spreadsheet, but it might not. It might be on the process spreadsheet, and it might not be there. It might be on the trajectories spreadsheet. So it doesn't matter where the information is, the question still needs to be answered. Do you see what I'm saying? So for me, it's not about opening the management spreadsheet, because if the management spreadsheet doesn't answer that question, you still have a problem. Right?
Yeah, no, exactly. So I am perfectly in line with you. I mean, first we need to make clarity about the management spreadsheet and the criteria, very clear what goes on that. But I think that it would be very beneficial that we do that, because then we would have anybody. I mean, we wouldn't need to make assumptions that workers read all the Discord messages and get updated on Discord. So we would have a place where it's part of the responsibility, or also that every time that you do an output or something, you are required to update or just the value that you just created or the work that you just produced inside the management spreadsheet.
Time to transition and to wrap up.
So that the team, anybody in the team that's start to work without even reading Discord or even communicating on Discord, he wants to work on payrolls. He has the time, 1 hour. You make 1 hour to work on payrolls immediately. Okay, boom. I open first the management spreadsheet. I look at the management spreadsheet. I see, all right, perfect management spreadsheet. We are at this point. Okay, this point, there is a responsibility organizing from the management spreadsheet. You open the responsibility organizing and you start working.
Yeah. So I feel like there's three things that need to happen and I call this worker organizing to get ready for a work session, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first is that the worker needs to know what is the priority focus of the work session and what specific responsibility and goal are we creating output for, right? And then the worker needs to know, to have the link and information required to achieve the work and work output, right? And this would be typically the responsibility
Time
organization
for breath.
link, right?
Right.
And then the third is, where does the responsibility that you're working on fit into the priorities of the team? So anyways, do our breath.
Okay, so
Inhaling
inhaling.
and exhaling. And inhaling together. And exhale. Yeah. So anyway, so these three things I feel like are all essential to being organized. And if we can train people on how to do all three of these, then you should be able to be organized and ready for a session to do work, because you have your responsibility organizing, if that's what you need for the work to be completed. And then you have, exactly what you're focused on, and where what you're focusing on is in our priorities in relationship to the process or the management or the trajectories or whatever.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we should make it as simple as possible. Like you go, like, which could be the management spreadsheet. Like, you start working, you have no idea what has happened. You start working after 1 week. You come back after a leave. You start working on this. You have no idea what happened, but you know that the first step you do is open the management spreadsheet on the trajectory. Maybe like each trajectory or sub trajectory could have its management spreadsheet. So you open the management spreadsheet. You go into the tab where you see where we are at with the process currently processed, and there from there you can get all the links that you need to start working, or the responsibility organizing, or the thing you need, and you start working.
Yeah. Like, so I mean, again, if it's clear and it's good to have the management spreadsheet, that's fine. And again, in my definition, the management spreadsheet is where the team organizes the work with the responsibilities and information that people need to know, or in the links to the processes, whatever needs to happen, right? It is not the manager. The team is not required to have a manager, right? Managers are not required. The team can just manage themselves. And that's what the management spreadsheet is just the work production for the team.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, for example, I understand. So for example, the management spreadsheet, for example, every time that you do,
maybe we should actually get rid of management and just call it, like, the team worker spreadsheet or something like that, so that it's like, it's clear that this is the whole point, is that it's not management, it's the workers coordinating for themselves how to do the work, right? And then the manager oversees the work. So maybe we should get rid of the term management to simplify it all, and that the management team and the managers are one thing, and then the workers basically coordinate themselves.
Time to pause.
5-second pause. So anyways, maybe we could find a better term that's not management, because I think
I love it. I love it. Like, team worker coordination spreadsheet, and instead of team, we would we would always put value team, agency. Sorry, 1 second, please. Yeah, Jay, I definitely agree with you. Something that, the team, every time you do work, you just maybe do a quick update on Discord, and then you copy and paste the link of that update into the spreadsheet. So the next worker opens the spreadsheet,
transition into wrap up,
goes there and has the update and knows where we are.
Yeah. Anyways, this door is not working. Anyway, we can figure it out later, but let's just try to stay away from coordination, stay away from management, and get like a term that works for just like basically the team self-organizing. Maybe we would call it the team worker organizing spreadsheet or something. I don't care what we call it. We'll figure out a good term for it. But I think that the way that we're using management right now is just not correct, and it just creates too much confusion. So just
I agree.
Because like you basically have the responsibility organizing, and then you have the team organizing spreadsheet. I don't know. It's like it's part of the organizing process for work in the workers, right? So you have your responsibility organizing for the worker doing the work. This is the team organizing for all of the work, so that when you're doing your work, you know what you're doing, right?
Exactly.
So I don't know. We can call it the team
And,
organizing spreadsheet. So for example, in this case, it would be the payroll. So you'd have the pay or the value distribution.
The value.
Value distribution team organizing spreadsheet. So that would be like an example of like a
value the value team, value distribution team. Because I mean, there is the value distribution system, but there is the value team. So depends how you want to call it.
I'm not talking about the team at all. I'm talking about maybe just get rid of team, worker organizing spreadsheet. Right? It's the value distribution worker organizing spreadsheet. This is this organizing spreadsheet for the workers to organize the value distribution work
System.
So the workers organizing spreadsheet, right? So it's like this spreadsheet is used for the workers to organize the work.
Time to take a break.
For the value distribution, right?
System. Yeah, I would add system. I mean, everything should be related to a system. Like you're working on.
Systems are very, very specific. Systems are systems of processes. Processes are processes of protocol, of responsibilities. Responsibilities consist of multiple steps and tasks to get the responsibility goals completed, right? So a system is not something that's randomly created. So systems take lots and lots and lots of very, very detailed organizing. You don't just randomly create a system spreadsheet, ever.
No, but this wouldn't be the system spreadsheet. This would be the worker organizing spreadsheet related to the value distribution system. That's what I'm thinking, right? So there is the value distribution system workers organizing spreadsheet. There is the non-profit sub system workers organizing spreadsheet. There is the budget system.
No, I don't confuse it. I don't think it makes sense. I think you just the budget workers organizing spreadsheet works on the budget, right? You have the budget.
Okay.
Budget workers organizing spreadsheet. The budget system is the budget system spreadsheet. If you want to go to the budget system spreadsheet, you go to the budget system spreadsheet, and that's the budget system spreadsheet. Let's not have multiple spreadsheets.
Create confusion.
Creates confusion and confusion, more confusion.
Yeah.
I want to be simple. So that we know what we're talking about, and eventually it's all going to be on websites, and it'll just be all the links. You shouldn't even have to worry about the names, But it's like, I just want it to be clear. And let's go through all the vocabulary of all the different ones. So you might have a system. You've got a process. You've got responsibilities, right? And you've got the workers organizing spreadsheet. You've got the management spreadsheets, right? You have the manager spreadsheet, right? These are all very different things in terms of what they are and what they mean.
I mean, I thought we want to substitute the management spreadsheet with the workers organizing spreadsheet.
Yeah, so the management spreadsheet would be something totally different, right? So that's why I put the word that there should be very few management spreadsheets that organize the management project team and the managing of everything, right? Should be anything that's with management should just be part of the management systems and the management processes, right? And then you have the manager spreadsheet, and the managers oversee together the management of everything, which is totally separate than the workers in the core team organizing their own, spreadsheet. That's another term that we could use instead of workers.
Time to transition and to wrap up.
Okay, we're transitioning. So instead of like the workers organizing, we could just say the core organizing spreadsheet, because we're the core team, right? So instead of the management team, you have the core team. The core team is under the management team, right? So the core team could be the core organizing spreadsheet. That's another option, but I like just simple workers. I like workers organizing spreadsheet. I think that's the best.
Mm-hmm.
No, because it's also the best because we would add in front for each spreadsheet, we would add, as you just said, value distribution, budget, right? Or you, right? There would be many workers organizing spreadsheets.
Yes, there'll be many different worker organizing spreadsheets for each assigned work category, right? So just like we have all of the work organized with the trajectories for that we just went over for the client work, we also have the organized trajectories and basically all the internal ops. So internal ops will be exactly like the client list, except instead of it being the client trajectories, it'll be the general worker trajectories. And then the internal ops would be the list of all the internal ops that is assigned. And that internal ops will be, not client work, but it's all going to be organized exactly the same. The only difference between client work and internal ops is internal ops does not bring in external money. The only difference.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Perfect.
More organized. Okay, so let's and so that discussion will continue on Wednesday, Thursday, Andromeda Hour 3 for the general teamwork, all of this, evaluation, problem solving, work coordination. Although for this particular session, we are going to be doing we have a scheduled contentious situation session. That's very important. And I'll and then I'll put this as vocabulary and for organizing documents. Cool. Sweet. All right, so I added that for Wednesday, Thursday, so we can continue on it. But that's going to happen probably in 2 weeks because next week we need to do the contentious situation session. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so can we go into the wrap up? I think we are done finally with this topic. And then I need to get going.
Wrap up. So next steps. So next steps we need to prioritize, remind to check WISE account verification. Joyce, maybe it affects you the most, but it affects the whole team, right? Because we cannot do any payments until this is solved. So maybe you can do that, Joyce.
Technically, it's 24 hours, right? So we need to be checking on this every single 24 hours until it gets done. That's how our coordination is. Our policies are function. Does that make sense? So like basically, if Joyce like just sits around and waits like 3 weeks and no one follows up on it, it's like, you get 24 hours. If nothing happens in 24 hours, you move on to the next payroll. Like that's how it works. Like it's not supposed to be something that you just like, oh yeah, we just wait around for weeks and weeks on it and not worry about it. So under our policies, it's not like, oh, we can't move forward until Joyce does blah blah blah. That's not actually the policy. The policy is that you get 24 hours to move forward to the next steps.
Oh yeah. The policy is that until we don't have the refund, we did have the refund.
Yeah, we had no. That was just sending the money to Joyce. Yes. But what I'm trying to say is that to move on to the next payroll, right? The only way to move on to the next payroll under our policies is to give Joyce 24 hours to continue to do this follow-up. And then as long as we're continuing to follow up on it, we have to do this and not move forward until it's completed. But as soon as everyone just, every single time we do this, it's like days and days and days go by, if not even a week goes by and no one says anything, right? That's why we're not making progress with it. It should be 24 hours. Like you don't stop, like by stopping, it's like, it's just never going to happen. You see what I'm trying to say? Or are you guys not following?
Yes.
No, I follow you, and I wasn't talking about working on the payroll. I was referring to this policy here that I'm going to copy and link it in the wrap-up. That policy, when a refund is initiated, we can't pay anyone before a refund is back. So the refund is back. now, I mean, of course, I mean, payrolls can move forward. I mean, they're moving forward. I was just talking about making payments, and now the refund is back, so this we are okay on that.
Yes, correct.
Okay, but anyway, okay, this is next step.
So I can start follow up, maybe Hydra can be.
Yeah, I think exactly. Whenever you check in, you send a reminder to check to follow up on that.
Okay.
You know, we can follow up on Monday. The point is that under the payroll process, that whenever we sit down to work on the payroll, the first thing you do is you update and make sure everything is completed for the previous payroll, right? If there's something that's outstanding, everyone gets 24 hours to respond before you can move forward with the next payroll. Does that make sense or not?
Yes.
No, it does perfectly make sense. Yeah, but for this case, we already did policy tracking for missing the verification, and we updated responsibility organizing and everything. Yeah. So we already moved forward with the payrolls.
Oh wait, what about? I thought you said that we skipped the payroll.
No, that's something else. That's, I mean, for this we already moved forward. This was related to the bonus upfront of the 164 degrees west month, right? We did policy tracking for that. We updated the responsibility organizing. We did verification for the base payment of the 26 month and all that. What I'm saying that happened today is that we skipped. We were supposed to work on the base token accounting, and instead we skipped and we went to the bonus upfront. So that's
how much policy tracking do you think that is? Half an hour, 30 minutes?
I mean, how much would have taken to just be sure that we're working on the same payroll? Yeah, half an hour, I think, right?
Half an hour. Well, it should take less than half an hour, but for me, it's more about the time that they put in working on the wrong thing. That's the waste of time, you know? But hopefully it can be applied later. So I think 30 minutes is fine.
Yeah, 30 minutes is fine. So policy tracking for skipping to next payroll process before completing the previous process.
I don't know who that was, but anyways, any other things on the schedule in terms of our deadlines?
Accounting verification, priorities verification.
When is that?
March 14.
Time for breath.
March 14th. It's before the.
It's
Inhaling.
last quarter.
Exhale.
Excellent.
Inhaling together. And exhale.
So March 14. Last quarter moon.
Yeah, first. Yeah, we had a proposal to postpone that deadline, but we never. Now it's too late.
Proposal?
I don't think we proposed to postpone that deadline. I think that deadline's fine. It's such a work. We had the proposal to push back the deadline for the tax, the 20th.
No, that's another proposal, Jay. We had also a proposal to to move this accounting verification deadline and the worker criteria verification deadline to 16th and 17th.
Yeah,
But
after
I mean,
taxes.
yeah, but I mean the taxes then in the end were a lot less work than we imagined first. So yeah, we have the proposal for the taxes plan. That's very important for the March 20th for the new up from pay stop deadline. It would be
Okay.
March 20th now, and then December. What we say, December 1st every year. So that is very important. And so scheduling. Tomorrow we have Andromeda, right? Andromeda H3, yeah. Umbrella Showcase website, pipeline experience, life support alliance planning, and sponsorship cooperativeship.
Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday, Andromeda H3. Jay, Alberto, Joyce, and Moth are scheduled. So
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday, Andromeda H3.
Time to pause.
5-second pause. Pipeline, live support, sponsorship. Okay. And I think this is it, right? Later, I'm available, Jay. Later, if you think you're going to be available to schedule.
For what?
I mean, we could either continue this and organize this workers organizing the coordination, right? We could also have our asset sessions that we missed. I think would be very beneficial. We could also CCC setup. Keep working on that. The intake form that you wanted to.
Yeah.
To
so
work
I would
together.
definitely want to prioritize the intake form or the assets. I mean, those are high priorities. You know, I just think that this management stuff is like we did 90% of it. I mean, we could obviously spend hours and hours more on it, but it's just not a priority. Like we did enough.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the proposal about this. Anyway. So yeah, so let's you want to choose now, or we see later on Discord?
Oh yeah, later on Discord. I don't know exactly when or if I can do it. It's just like a lot going on.
Okay. I'm gonna be checking with you. Okay, great. So I think we're good with the scheduling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, hyper evaluation. Give a session a 7.75. Good session. Went a bit longer than planned. Good on the rhythm. Improved breath, and glad we organized the trajectories. And, client work.
Time to stretch.
Right. Joyce, you want to do the hyper evaluation?
Time to stretch.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. Should we stretch or what? 30-second stretch?
Yeah, 30-second stretch.
All right, so I think we're pretty good. I'm pretty much done at this point. We haven't taken a break for a really long time, so
Missed a break.
yeah, I think we skipped 2 breaks. So, anyways,
We went longer, 45 minutes longer than what we scheduled. How much? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
no, that's not against policy at all.
Ah, okay.
You're not required to stop. Stopping is not required unless you're going into like overtime. But we are allowed to do overtime, so.
Okay.
All right, I gotta get going here, but this is good.
Yeah,
We made some
very good.
progress. Cool.
Great.
I'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you. Alberto?